Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah Yomi continues for Shabbat Vayeshev. We're actually still in chapter 14 of Yevamot. Now the reason for that is that there's a subdivision of Mishnah Dalet into more Mishnayot. In certain versions, Mishnah Dalet is printed as quite long. It's quite long in these little art scroll books, like 4 pages long. Actually, in the Gemara on Daf Kuf Yud Beis 112b, all of the Mishnayot in this chapter are printed on one page, takes up almost the entire page. So yesterday we did the first part of what's called Mishnah Dalet, but as we'll see on the schedule, the Mishnah Yomi calendar, the official schedule, they follow the version of Mishnayot where Mishnah Dalet is subdivided into additional Mishnayot. So we have a couple more days of chapter 14. We are in the case now about 7 lines in the official Mishnah Dalet in the art scroll hand size. Shnei achin pikhin. You have 2 normal brothers. Nisuim lishtei achayot. They've married 2 sisters, and now these 2 sisters is a distinction. Achat chareshet. One is a deaf mute. So again, that's a rabbinical level marriage. Ve'achat pikahat. And the other one is a normal, and that's a deraisa biblical level marriage. And now this being Yevamot, met pikeach bal chareshet. The brother who's married to the deaf mute woman passes away. Maya se pikeach bal bikochat. What will his surviving brother do for the widow? And that was a widow from a rabbinical marriage. Teitze mishum achot isha. She goes out because she is the sister of his wife. So that's similar to one of the resolutions we had from yesterday. But now we have a problem. If met pikeach bal pikachat, what if the normal brother who's married to the normal wife passes away? Now, that was a biblical level marriage. What does his surviving brother do who's married to the sister who's a deaf mute? Now, that's a rabbinical marriage. So now we have a tension here because we have a Yevamot, a surviving widow from a biblical marriage who has a zika, a bond, an obligation upon the surviving brother to help this woman through Yibum or chalitza, but he can't because he's married rabbinically to this very widow's sister. So now the problem, the Gemara explains, his wife, the Chareshet, becomes ahot zikukato, the sister of his Zika bonded widow, meaning there's sort of a quasi-marriage through Zika, as we've seen in earlier chapters. So now he has a problem. So the Mishnah says, Motziat ishto beget. He has to divorce the Chareshet wife using a get, but eshes achi v'chalitza, and he can perform chalitza on the widow to release her. This is because this surviving brother is pikeach, is able to communicate. Remember, yesterday the brother was a cherish, so that would mean she would be stuck in the case of a cherish. But here, she can be released with a chalitza. What about shnei achim? Okay, sorry, this is considered the next Mishnah. Mishnah Vav starts here at shnei achim, 2 brothers. Echad cherish, echad pikeach. One is deaf mute, one is normal, can communicate. Nesum l'shtei achayot. They're married to 2 sisters. Achat, one of the sisters, chareshet, ve'achat pikachat. So one is deaf mute and one is not. Met cherish bal chareshet. The brother passes away who is married to the deaf mute. He was deaf mute. It's a rabbinical marriage. Maya se pikach bal pikachat. What does the surviving brother do for the widow? Teitze mishum achot isha. She doesn't need yibum or chalitza. She can go and remarry anyone because she is the sister of his wife. But now the reverse case is going to have a serious problem. Met pikeach bal pikachat. If the brother who's married on a biblical level, he's able to communicate, his wife's able to communicate, everything is a biblically binding marriage. So what if he passes away with no children? So now the widow from a biblical marriage is falling to Yibum in front of the surviving brother who's married to the sister on a rabbinical level. So again, we have this tension, the biblical zika of Yibum, that zika obligation bond where the surviving brother has to do something for this widow. Zika is a biblical level issue, and he has a rabbinical level marriage coming up against that. So Maya say cherish bal chareshet. What does the cherish couple do? Nebuch, it's unfortunate. Motziat ishta beget. He has to divorce Mrs. Chareshet using a get. Eshet achiv asura leolam. And the widow from the biblical marriage of his brother cannot get remarried. Why? She cannot marry him in Yibum, because he was married to her sister, and he cannot do chalitza because unfortunately he is a cherish. Unless there's some sort of refuah or situation improves, he can't do a chalitza if he is deaf and mute. Yasher koach, good Shabbos. Tomorrow we continue with similar cases through the rest of this chapter. Sei gesund.